Split-second decisions can make or break a game, and it often feels impossible to make the right call. Watching professional Dota is great because it shows how the best teams and players navigate these brief and fragile moments. However, it's easy to miss game-winning decisions when watching a stream, and even harder to apply those lessons to your own games. I recently watched a match between Liquid and Spirit and noticed many unexpected plays that most players would never even think of doing. Today, I'll break down some of these key decisions so we can all learn to think and play more like the pros and think outside of the box. The first thing I noticed seemed like a classic mistake I see so many players make, but it actually worked out in the end. Satanic's SF is winning the lane against Saberlight's Dawnbreaker.
It's your boy Saberlight coming to you from the shower.
At 10 minutes, Liquid decides to bring everyone to kill him while he's farming his top jungle, while the rest of Spirit are taking this opportunity to hit mid. Looking at the state of the map, it seems risky for Satanic to TP back top since so many Liquid heroes are missing, and his allies aren't in the area at all. But he knows all of his allies have TPs available, so he decides to go back top and defend his tower. Quick note, if you hold Alt, you can see the status of your teammates' TPs at the top of the screen. Some players might mindlessly TP back to their lane without considering the threat, and just feed, or probably more likely, they TP elsewhere on the map to find some safer farm. This often ends up taking farm away from someone else on your team though, so it's a costly move. He TPs back top, seeming like a pretty easy kill for Liquid, although this time it doesn't work out for them. Spirit is able to get a kill on Saberlight and hold their tower. We'll see in a bit that this risky decision by Satanic to TP alone top made an even greater impact when they go for Roche. A minute later, I noticed a small play from Insania. He holds the creeps just outside of his tower so Saberlight can safely secure the last hits. Most players I'm sure would just let these creeps run right into the tower and they'd miss all of the last hits anyway. Keep this in mind if you want to make last hitting easier for yourself or a teammate. At 13 minutes, Miposhka TPs to Satanic to bloodlust him, helping him farm faster. Then he seems to just sit AFK sapping his XP. Well, that's probably what most pub players would think and get tilted about, but he's actually completely saving Satanic's life here. He's standing like this to tank a smoke gank. If Liquid comes from these stairs below or to the left, he'll break the smoke and most likely die, but Satanic will have time to run away to safety. Just by looking at the map and the way Miposhka is moving his mouse to check enemy inventories, this is exactly what's on his mind. Liquid are wanting to make a smoke play with Clockwork's hookshot and Dawnbreaker's ult, a combo that we'll see many times throughout this game and we'll touch more on later. Now, although Liquid weren't going for a smoke gank at this moment, Miposhka continued playing in the same way for the next couple of minutes, and it paid off. Liquid ends up smoking to look for SF, but all they find is Ogre, and they don't even care enough to kill him. They want to kill a core hero. The tip here is, if you learn to have good map awareness, you can have a good sense of when the enemy wants to make a play like a smoke gank, and you can position yourself to tank it for your ally or just dodge it altogether. Usually you can just keep an eye on the minimap, and if the enemies have been gone for a while or if they have some creep waves pushed into them, it's usually a good sign that they might be up to something. Liquid's gank was spotted, even pinged out by Rue seeing Boxy. And what Spirit decides to do right away is one of my favorite things from this whole game. It just hit 15 minutes, meaning Roche is switching from bottom to top. So Satanic TP's top to join other Spirit heroes and they're able to take Roche with ease. Often the decision to do Roche is risky, especially in the early game, but this was basically a free Roche for Spirit for a couple of reasons. First, they know there are Liquid heroes bottom from that failed smoke gank, so by TPing top, they're completely dodging them. Second, Liquid doesn't have their tier 1 offlane tower to TP to. This is because of the play Satanic made earlier TPing alone to defend top. When they countered Liquid's gank and killed Saberlight, they forced him to waste his ult, and he still died. They also forced Nisha to TP out, so now all of Spirit is top. Liquid has no Dawnbreaker ult to defend with, and Nisha would be late running from base, so this was a free play for Spirit to take this tower. Now fast forward back to when Spirit are in the pit, and you can see how free this is for them. Liquid are nowhere in the area, and they can't be. A good takeaway from this is to keep Roche in mind, especially when he's switching sides of the map. This can give you a great opportunity to get the Aegis uncontested. Also, punishing enemies' mistakes, like wasting an important ultimate. If they do, take that opportunity to secure an objective or teamfight that you otherwise wouldn't. Now it's almost 16 minutes and Spirit just got the Aegis on Laurel. Most players and teams would think, okay, the enemy just got Aegis, they're going to be strong, we don't want to take a 5v6 fight, unless they mess up. The decision to quickly snag the Aegis was genius by Spirit. The moments after, though, they made some game-losing mistakes, and Liquid capitalized on those mistakes hard. After Roche, Laurel TP's mid, Malik TP's bottom, and Liquid pings this out instantly. Satanic is stuck in this top part of the map because he used his TP to get to Roche. So now all three of Spirit's cores are in different lanes, with no way to get to each other besides running, and Liquid is fully aware of that. Laurel can't get help from his SF or Beastmaster for about the 20 seconds it would take for them to run mid. So, with this very brief opportunity, Liquid decides to go on Laurel, successfully burning his Aegis and even killing him a second time. And by the time SF runs from top and Beastmaster from bottom, Liquid are already on their way out. They lose Boxy, but an incredibly great trade in the end. The tip here is to be thoughtful when using your TP, and pay attention to the status of your teammates' TPs. If you know they can't TP in to help you, consider playing more safely. And on the flip side, from Liquid's perspective, pay attention to the enemy's TPs and when they use them. If they TP across the map, it can open up opportunities like going for a pickoff, team fight, or getting Roche. And just because the enemy has Aegis doesn't mean you can't take a good fight. Maybe you have a vision or numbers advantage, which is enough to win an engagement. One of Liquid's key strategies this game was utilizing their global presence. A clockwork hookshot followed up with a Dawnbreaker ult and Invoker Sunstrike, and that's an easy kill on anyone. Even when his whole team is fighting bottom, Insania is top looking to set up for the next play, and Nisha is right on the same page as him. Right after they get this kill bottom, Nisha instantly moves to gate top. Now, although this specific play doesn't work out for them, Insania keeps looking for opportunities like this. And only a few minutes later, he's right back to camping this area, looking for picks. He even places this sneaky ward on the mines. If you want to know where pros are warding, check out this recent video of mine, or one of these older ones that still have a lot of great and sneaky ward spots. The takeaway from this is to play to your team's and heroes' strengths and be proactive about making plays. A Clockwork support could easily play this game passively and just use hookshot when an engagement happens, but Insania here is utilizing his team's strengths to take initiative and look for kills, rather than waiting for them to come to him. This proactive playstyle helps apply pressure to the enemy, which is one of the best ways to gain an advantage and win Dota. Next, I want to highlight this interesting string of events from Spirit. They 5-man smoke to go through the gate, then seem to realize that they should have stayed top for Roche, so they go back through the gate and start it. They're scouted by a Clockwork Rocket, so they spread out. Eventually, Liquid comes in and takes a good fight with a good initiation by Insania, catching 2 in his cogs, winning the fight and taking the Aegis. Now again, you might think, okay, the enemy has Aegis, we should be careful about taking any fights, but as Liquid did earlier, Spirit thinks otherwise. Satanic still has BKB and ult, so he and Malik on Beastmaster, with Rue approaching quickly, stick around to look for any stragglers. And they know Boxy just TP'd to defend bottom and Insania is dead, so at most there are 3 heroes here. They have a great ward in the lane, which shows that it's only Mickey and Nisha. They're able to get a kill on Nisha, a play that in most pub games wouldn't happen. The heads up play to be aware of their strength and Liquid's vulnerability in numbers was a great way to get some kind of positive out of the lost teamfight and Aegis. In the end, Liquid were able to come out on top. If you can get good at applying pressure on the map and punishing enemies' missteps, these are often game-winning moves. Whether it's something as small as going on an enemy in the laning phase when they step up a bit too far, or deciding to engage in a teamfight when an enemy misuses their spell or item. If you're having trouble noticing these small moments in your games, consider checking out my Patreon, where you can support me and my content, and I do replay reviews. There's even some free content there, so go check it out. Thank you to everyone there already. Tilted Ward, the Titan Forge, Mark, and Ole, and all of the free members. And a quick thank you to everyone still watching. Whether you've been here from the start, or this is your first time, I appreciate it and I hope you find these videos useful. If you do, be sure to subscribe for more content like this. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something new with me.